what's up you guys, this is Rob from A Gay Guy Plays, and today on the Snapshot, we're going to be taking a look at my latest TennoGen haul. Now as always, let's start this off with the standard disclaimer. As many of you guys know, I have a very specific aesthetic and I tend to be extremely picky. So I don't want you guys to think that I have forgotten any piece. Trust me, I have been up and down those patch notes, I know that everything that's released, and I kind of am just not the kind of person that wants to drag anybody's work through the mud. Because, you know, just because I don't like it doesn't mean that somebody else won't like it. However, Rob doesn't have the biggest wallet in the world, and I need to keep the lights on around here, so I'm not going to be able to pick everything up. And trust me, you will see that with all of the honorable mentions that I put out today. So without ado, just as long as you guys are aware of how things work around here, let's jump into the good stuff. So we're going to kick things off with honorable mentions. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't able to pick any of these up. However, there are some that I feel very strongly about, and there are others that I think that you guys will feel very strongly about, starting with the Naru Sayandana. Now, you know this kind of violates a lot of my terms, right? This is like the big no-no for me. It's too big, it's too bulky, but there is a part of my body and soul that is yearning for this. And I don't know if it's because I've been watching too many Game of Thrones and just gotten too into dragons, but a part of me is like, oh my god, this looks absolutely fantastic. It's got like a nice wing spread on it. So if you're into that big winged dragon look, or if you like the I believe they're the Nibiru kind of like wing pieces that you can go on your shoulders, you can probably actually stack up both of those to have like a cool multi-winged dragon effect. Really into this. However, part of me is like, you know that you're not going to part me from the Officium, and at the same time you're too big, but there's just a part of me that really likes the look of this. Moving along to skins, we're going to jump on over to the Saren Amalgama skin. Now clearly this is not it. However, I wanted to provide you guys with a little bit of a refresher tip that I feel is necessary, because somebody had actually asked me, they wanted to customize these skins before they actually got to like purchase them, so you kind of know what you're getting into. And basically all you have to do is set up your own specific color scheme, and then you'll be able to transfer that onto your skin. So as you can see here, we've got this crazy looking like setup, but once we go ahead and click onto the Amalgama skin, it turns into this. Isn't that pretty? And the Amalgama skin is pretty fucking gorgeous, but I wanted to display one more time. We're gonna go ahead and change this metallic color to, let's just do something like this, right? Now we can go to the Amalgama skin, and as you can see, the metallic color has changed. So if you guys are trying to figure out, you know, whether a skin is for you or not, that's definitely something that you should try out. But let's take a look at the Amalgama skin, because this thing is one of those ones that I'm like, it's really nice, but there are other really nice skins for Saren too, so exactly how do I feel about it? It's very easy to color, which is something that I value a lot. I love it because there's some energy colors that kind of come up around the neck and around the face. They're nice little touches. The energy colors on these aren't very obtrusive, but it almost adds like another layer of color to the skin itself. I love the placements of the metallics, and I love these things here. Now this kind of bothers me a little bit because you cannot alter that color, at least as far as I know you can't, but you can kind of see like a muted version of your energy color kind of like peeking behind the domes, which I do really like. I just wish that it was kind of like affected by energy color, but besides that, I think it's a really strong skin, and Procedicin did a great job with it. Now next up is the Nyx Carnufex Skin, and I'm gonna be completely honest with you, this kind of falls in line with the whole Dragon Sayandana. This is not usually what I'm into, but can I just tell you, the detail work on this is absolutely gorgeous. I believe this is a new artist too, because I've never seen Volgeblorn ever. Is this the one that rides the polar bears? Is this the polar bear guy? Regardless, I really like this one. I love the texturing. It just looks fantastic. It's almost reminiscent of the Hitsusan Kaduto skin for Excalibur, but this is definitely far more dragony. It looks like they just unleashed the dragon on this one. I love the energy color and the way that it kind of peeks out from the skin. I love how there are parts that look like it's kind of like raw flesh exposed. Everything about this is just really well done, and the helmet is fucking fantastic. So if you're into this really kind of like bioorganic thing, definitely check this one out. I'm giving it a big thumbs up. This is one of the ones that I really wanted. And I'm like, man, after looking, you know, you see the pictures of it, you're like, yeah, that's like kind of good, but then when you actually see it and you customize it a little bit, you're like, ooh, this hurts my soul because I want to pick it up. And last but definitely not fucking least is the Atlas Monolith skin. Holy shit, let me tell you, I slept on this. I totally slept on this skin. Like I said, I went through the patch notes after like I'd made my initial purchases, and I was like, oh, I forgot there was a skin for Atlas. And then I went ahead and loaded it up, and I was just like, holy shit, this looks goddamn fantastic. Holy hell, I love the metallics on it. I am slightly bothered because it is metallics on fabrics, and I kind of don't necessarily like it when like metal things jiggle, but you know what, I will give it a pass because it looks really fucking good. This thing was really well modeled. I love the helmet. At some point I'm gonna try to pick this up. Unfortunately, not now, but legitimately, this is one of those ones that like my heart died a little bit because I realized I had spent everything in my Steam wallet, and I'm like, Rob, control yourself. Try to control yourself a little bit. Don't add more funds. Don't add more funds. And a part of me was like screaming. I was like, but I want it. This is one of those ones that are absolutely fantastic. Stench Fury, wow, just blew my mind with this one. I specifically love the detailing at the bottom of the bacon flaps. I don't know what else to call them, but they're bacon flaps, and I love the kind of like these little energy bolts that come up. It's reminiscent, if you guys take a look at Rhino, he has very similar ones that come up the ab section as well. Big fan. Massive fan. This was absolutely beautiful. Switching gears to the things that I have actually picked up, let's go ahead and take a look at the Nyx Divine skin, or is it Divine? That's spelled wrong, isn't it? Or is that spelled appropriately and I'm just saying it wrong? I don't know. Someone in the comments correct me because it really is bothering me. Now, overall, I really like the skin. I think it's a really cool look for Nyx. However, there are some pros and cons to this. So I'm gonna hit them low real quick, and then we'll go ahead and move our way up. Now, one of the big things that I found for this skin is it was a bit of a pain to color. You really have to be particular about the places that you put colors, because sometimes the color like goes everywhere and it's a little too much. Like the tint masking on this is a little not my favorite. Let's put it like that. So it's very easy to kind of mess up on the coloring. So I feel like you have to go dark with a lot of the shades that you use and just vary those up a little bit in order to kind of get a tint but not be overwhelming. The other thing that I find to be a little bit about this skin is that there's a lot of detailing. A part of me almost feels like there's too much detailing, and I'm gonna show you the back real fast. The back's got a lot going on. Like a part of me is like, you could have done like half of that and it would look real good. Like I didn't necessarily need the extra details on the sides of the boots. I didn't need, like, there's some spacing. If you take a look at the flames, there's a spacing of white between the outline of the flame. I'm like, that's too much. You don't need to do all that. You can kind of keep it simple. It'll help with the tint masking and whatnot. But the one thing that I do have to say, and we're gonna go on the other end of the spectrum, the great things about the skin, that helmet, that fucking helmet. See, I was on the fence about this skin, but the helmet sold me. That shit is the most adorable thing I have ever fucking seen ever. Oh my god, and I love all of the ombre effects that you have with the skin. Like you can see a little bit of it from the torso where like there's the flames and it kind of like has a little bit of smokiness and gradiates up into the chest area. You get a little bit of it on the thighs and whatnot, but where you really see it are on the ribbons that come down from his helmet, and then that face. That motherfucking face. That'll sell this no matter what, because it's absolutely adorable. As you can see here, I actually took an orange energy color and I offset it with a red accent, and it almost looks like it blends into each other to almost give this like 2 energy effect, which I am super fond of, because you know, you get the pop from the red and then you also get the pop from the orange, but they're close enough in color that you're like, oh, is it like blending into each other or something? Regardless, I'm a big fan overall of this skin. I do feel like it's gonna be a little bit limited in the kind of, at least in my opinion, the kind of good looks that you can get with it. Regardless, to me, it's absolutely fucking adorable. Look at its little face. So next up we have the Grec skin by Faven_PS. Now, is it just me, or is this like classy as fuck? I don't know if maybe it's just the colors that I put on it, but she looks all kinds of steampunk right now, and I am totally digging it. Look at her corset area. Look at the quilting on the thighs. A part of me is like, maybe you're just a little too classy for the Grenier. Just putting that out in the universe. This might have been, the Grenier must have gotten a little classed up, like maybe they had a special place to go or something, because she looks really, really good. And as always, Faven does an amazing job with the textures. As you can see, there's a little bit of pulling right there, and there's the quilting always looks fantastic. The one thing that I do want to point out real fast though, and we're gonna go ahead and look at the front sigil real quick, but you can actually see, and let me remove the sigil real fast so that you can't see it, but take a look at that. Like, you can see the kind of like, you can see the kind of pulling on the chest. I love the like texture that's sitting right there. And interestingly enough, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this may be the first installment of underboob that we have ever got from TennoGen. Meg is rocking the Warframe underboob. Hallelujah. Good job, girl, for boob representation. Look at me. I'm so shook because it looks so good. All of the underboob is just going on over there. So I'm going to give that a big thumbs up. One of the other things that I'm really fond of while we're zoomed in, as you can see here, you see these layered magnetic discs. I'm super into it, and look at that, reflected in the Officium Syandana as well. You know, a little bit of self-promo, but I'm gonna put it out there, like those two kind of like work well together. You know, a little bit of Grenier and Corpus getting together, that's probably not good from like a strategic standpoint. However, the skin itself looks absolutely fantastic, classy as fuck, steampunk as fuck. Little bit on the simple side. I will put that out there. It's a little bit on the simple side, but you can dress that up with more armor. You can dress that up with the sigils. You can, you know, this is Warframe. You can slap on as much shit as you want, and it's gonna look absolutely fantastic on the skin. So I think it's a fantastic installment to the Grec series. Continuing with the Grec theme, we have the Nova Grec skin. Now, this is not to be confused with the Genova skin, the Genova skin, depending on how you want to read it. This is actually kind of like an updated variant of it, and it looks fucking ridiculously gorgeous. As you can see right here, she's got a brand new helmet, and all of the modeling is completely different on it. One of the interesting things that I did is I actually left it on its default energy color, because as you can see right here, it's like very yellowy at certain points, but up in the helmet it's very orangey. It almost looks like it has a little bit of a strange pulse to it. And when you look at the back, it's got this orangey coral color into this bright yellow. It looks fucking fantastic. I love all of the venting that's on the back. I love what they've done with the jets. It's just fantastic. And as always, like I've stressed over and over again, Faven is like really good when it comes to cloth textures, and these textures look immaculate. Now, I did want to point out something a little bit kind of saddening. As you can see with the chest sigil, the chest sigil looks weird because of the default energy that I have used on it. Same thing goes for the Syandana. I did want to point that out just in case you're planning on using a sigil, that it's gonna look a little bit strange and that your Syandana colors might look a little bit weird on top of that. But, you know, this is just me rolling with the default color. You can choose whatever color you want. It's gonna look great on this skin. I just, you know, every single time I'm just really impressed. You can kind of see it looks like it is actual fabric on someone who's wearing it. And I don't know what it is, but I really like that little beady eye set he's got going over there. So for all of you Nova fans out there, this is another one to add to your list, and I definitely think it's a strong contender. Rounding out the Grec releases, we have the Hydroid Grec skin. Now this one, I have to say, is pretty fucking fantastic. I had some qualms about the helmet initially. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like it with the like a weird cord beard, but the profile looks awesome. That's one of the big things. I was like, I don't know how that's gonna sit on his chest. Is it gonna be like because you know, you've seen some of the other Hydroid skins out there where he has like all of the tentacles like laying on his chest piece, and it just doesn't look right whatsoever. But Faven managed to like pull it out, and it looks absolutely fantastic. It's got some physics to it too, so it's not just kind of like statically there, like really rigid. It's got some movement to it, which I really like. So the faceplate, love. The little metallic details, I absolutely love. All of these cordon things, I love. The quilting, you know I'm a fan of. Of course, he's still got like jelly like loincloth syndrome, which I'm not the biggest into, but you know, that's not something that Faven can do anything about. The back looks absolutely fantastic. There is like a little weird part that peeks out with the jelly butt, but you know what, you're gonna toss a Syandana on that anyway, so you're not gonna see it at all in any way, shape, or form. I think I don't want to call this a gripe. I don't want to say that this is anything to gripe about, but I don't know, but for me, and maybe this is a good thing. So maybe I shouldn't be thinking about this as like one of those, you can see how my brain works, is that I found all of the Grec skins very, very easy to customize. Maybe even a little too easy to customize? Do I sound like I'm insane when I say that? Because at first a part of me was like, well, you know, it wasn't like I was just able to slap some colors on and it worked. That's a positive. I don't know why I'm looking at that like a negative, but we're gonna leave it for you guys to kind of like consider for yourself. It was a really, really easy customize on this, almost too easy to customize, but it's a really, really good look for Hydroid. If you're not a big fan of the Hydroid Prime look, this is even something that you can kind of invest in now, just in case you're looking at Hydroid Prime, you're like, I don't know if I'm gonna like that. This is definitely something that you can pick up to kind of offset that, especially now that he's got his super ridiculous amazing puddle. You go play around with that in his new outfit. You work it out, Hydroid. You looking good as fuck. Now, before we get to our last and final skin, I do have a couple of disclaimers. Now, straight out of the gates, I am gonna put it out there in the universe. I've been playing around with coloring this a lot, and I feel like there might be some issues with the tint mask. Now, I'm going to show you real quick. In all of the promo material that they have had, the helmet on the day version was white, and it had all of these cool blends into the rest of the skin. And from what I was looking at, and I was looking at the color placements, this should have a white helmet right now. So I feel like the tint masking might be a little bit off. And there are some other issues that come down to metallics, but we'll chat about that in a second. And secondly, I love Pro Citizen, and there are several things that he's done in the past, or she, I don't know. I don't want to like misjudge genders. I'm sorry, this is 2017. I don't mean to do it. But this isn't necessarily my favorite skin of theirs. And I know that I put this out in social media that I wanted to kind of get my hands on it and play around with it before I pass any judgment. And clearly I can't even do that now because there's some things that seem a little bit off. But let's go ahead and jump into it real quick. Now, as you guys can see, and I want to point this out real quick. So I'm going to hit the tertiary on this, right? And I'm going to go and scrub through all of these colors. So clearly the tertiary does not affect this specific coloration in any way, shape, or form. Then we're going to go into the metamorphosized form, and clearly this accent has no play. Now that's the same thing as that's the very same thing as the actual Equinox, the standard Equinox skin, because two of them have like, you know, their own unique colorations. But in this case, I feel like it's a little bit of a waste. And I feel like their tint masks could have been combined in some way, shape, or form. Like you could have done some reassignments, because the big no-no for me, and I don't even know if it's a no-no, because I don't know if this is like an issue, but there is no way to change the metallics on the TennoGen skin, at least at this moment in time, okay? Putting that out there in the universe, because I'm talking about tint masking issues, and the tint masking seems to be off. But as you can see here, you can change these metallics, which happen on the skirts and the sides, but it also changes some matte parts of the body, which kind of confuse me. And it also changes some of the metallics on the chest. So we've got both metallics and matte parts of the body affected by the same portion, but yet the face metallics don't change. And again, it could be an issue because of the fact that, you know, we took a look at the day variant, right? We took a look at the day variant, and unfortunately, like there are no metallics to be had, and you know, we're missing like this oh wait, no, not that accent tone, this tone right here. So clearly the tint mask for the helmet might be a little bit off, and maybe that's where the whole issue comes into play. But again, you know, I'm not a big fan of having a matte mixed with the metal on the same like tint mask. So that's a very big negative for me, and having certain metals not take that tint color, that also like gets under my skin. It's like a big fashion frame no for me. I'm like, I rebuke thee in the house of fashion frame. No, I'm kidding, don't rebuke thee, because there are some things that I really do like about the skin. Now the overall shape I really like. The helmet looks fantastic, aside from the parts that you can't color. The energy colors that I love on this, on the night version, it looks like flames because of the fact that it's not like sharp lines. Everything kind of fades off and gradiates out. It looks like soft burning embers. It's really pretty. I am a big fan of that. And as for the day form, now I don't know if they like mistook it, but Equinox is a girl through and through. So I don't know, maybe she just did a lot of push-ups and now she's got like those, you know, those pec breasts where it's nice and square. But you know what? We embrace all shapes and forms here in Warframe, so we gonna give it some love, and you got like good pec boobages. But I actually do like the shape on it. I like the etching on it a lot. I think it looks, I actually like the day form, the looks of the day form a lot, and I kind of wish that they had pulled the helmet together so that I could have a stronger positive case for this. I also like the combined form, not that we get to see the combined form very often. I love the gradients on the bottom of this. I almost wish that they could have incorporated that into the night form. However, that's not the case. You know, it's not my skin. I can't make the judgments on this. Regardless, that's kind of like where I sit on it. Now, the one thing that I do want to point out for you guys is I do plan on doing individual customization videos for each of these skins, just because I kind of like to give you multiple looks and things to play around with, some food for thought. Let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments below. Maybe you have some suggestions on what colorations I should kind of like play around with for some of these things. Maybe you see something that I don't. Maybe Ninja could be like even bloodier and crazier. I don't know. Put that all in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what your favorites are. If there's anything that you absolutely loved and you're like, no, Rob, you were wrong. You were dead wrong. Put those in the comments as well. And as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and get your ass dressed to kill. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.